Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax. Except you, that person driving. Sit up and keep your eyes on the road. Your ears, though, can still listen as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
Let's get this show on the road.
You muted yourself again, Rob. Hold on, let's start again. Joined again by...
I'm me, I'm Rob.
There we go, it's you. And the gentleman who may be watching going, who is this person in the corner? That's not Luigi. No, that's not Luigi. That is Will from Snowstorm Studios. How's it going, Will?
It's going good, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it here. We are here to go ahead and talk about some edge rushers here. We're also here, as John points out, to give suspenseful music. Oh, yes. Feel the suspense. And if there's a day for suspense, it's today. We're on the final countdown. You're not going to do the song, Rob? Come on. You just... Come on!
Final countdown.
We got less than 24 hours here left, folks, for Daniel Jones to sign his official contract or get tagged. We're going to get into that with you guys in a little bit. There will be definitely some Daniel Jones talk here, if not some Daniel Jones ranting even. There may be ranting, I know. Ranting on this show, I'm shocked. Whoa, never expected that.
Never rants.
Never. So, let's get into some final news. So we had on the Combine here, I saw the list of the players that Giants talked to, mostly wide receivers, linebackers, cornerbacks. Big shocker there. We talked at the positions of need. Crazy idea. Who would have thought? One bit of news I thought was very interesting, and it has nothing to do with the Giants. Quarterback C.J. Stroud was asked who he looked up to as a quarterback. Guess who he said? Michael Vick and Deshaun Watson.
Great role models right there.
Really? That's the people we expect in Cell Block 6 to be looking up to, okay? Not the people from, the college ranks getting into the pros here, okay? Whatever you do, CJ. Don't do it, CJ. What, did you leave Brett Favre out? Is that the problem? Oops, I'm going to get sued now.
Yeah, allegedly.
Listen, I didn't say he did anything. I just said he left out Brett Favre out of the list of possible people, along with Deshaun Watson and Michael Vick. All excellent people, of course.
Yeah, out of possible role models.
Yeah, seriously.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Like, if I was, going to become a chef and I wanted to look up to Hannibal Lecter, I mean, things happen, okay? I mean...
Yeah.
Still technically a role model.
Marriage wine with the Chianti beans, just saying.
That census taker. So we got some news today on tagging as well. We talked about a potential tag coming here. The Cowboys also went ahead and tagged Tony Pollard today. So Tony Pollard, surprise, is still going to be a Cowboy. But you know what the big news is? That means a certain tight end's going to be available. You can only tag one player. Dalton Schultz means he could have played his last game as a Cowboy. And Rob, you know my theory. If you can take from your enemy, you are helping yourself in two different ways.
Hell yeah.
I don't see it happening, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I would not be opposed to that at all. We also had a big release today.
So what are you going to say when he goes to Washington?
Oh, we lost you there. Oh, we're losing you, Rob. Washington? Oh, listen, I don't care where he goes. He can go to Washington. I don't want him to stay in the division, don't get me wrong, because he's not a great player, but he's still a good player. But, yeah, anytime you can make an enemy of yours weaker, that's a good thing.
I feel like the Cowboys and the Eagles lose a lot of players, too, now.
I think we are, too, but they also both typically draft well.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And I think we all know that they drafted a tight end last year as well, Jake Ferguson. to go ahead and take that role on. So they did the smart way, as much as I hate to give credit to the Cowboys. They did the smart way. They knew they were going to lose one, and they said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get this problem solved before we even have to.
One question about that.
Yeah.
I struggle with this sometimes, but I think it's true.
That's right. I have a lot of struggles. Go for it.
After 4 to 5 years, I think I can confidently say Jerry Jones is a better general manager than Dave Gettleman was.
Listen, I'm a better general manager than Dave Gettleman was.
I know that really.
That's not saying much. It's not saying much.
I was thinking about that earlier. So.
I'm just saying, like, I would trust a trained monkey that smokes cigars to be the GM over Dave Gettleman.
Yeah,
like,
fair enough.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's a good role model for CJ Stroud, but, you know. So let's get into the big release today. And no chuckle from you when I say when is a big release today, Rob, okay? Yeah. You know, your mind
who's the role model?
In the gutter. Eric Kendricks got released today by the Minnesota Vikings. And this is a position of need for us, guys, linebacker. You hear all the rumors that Giants are going to sign a linebacker this offseason. It's pretty much sealed in stone they're going to. The big one is who? Which one? And here's another possible name out of the list. This is a 2019 first-team All-Pro. This is not a scrub. This is the guy who's still doing over 100 tackles a season. And he is number 10 on the list now of guys available right now that fit that kind of description at this point. Like, it seems like if you are a linebacker, you've probably been cut this offseason, which is weird that we're like, we need to sign one. Everybody else is cutting them, but we're signing them. I don't know if that's a good sign or not, but I mean, you know, at this point, we need to improve the position here, but we'll get into that Wednesday night. So a little cliffhanger for you guys there. Oh yes, that's a better cliffhanger than any Sylvester Stallone movie. That's for damn sure, guys. So we have to go now into QB signings because oh yes, there was QB signings. So you know what we didn't do, Rob, too, because this is brand new. I got to do it now as we talk about QB signings. You know what it is?
The transitions are so good, guys. The transitions are so good.
On point here. So we got the breaking news in the quarterback area here. We've been waiting for the Daniel Jones signing. That has not come, guys. I'm not going to get you guys all suspenseful on that one. That has not come. But what has come is, as of this evening, Geno Smith has signed a 3-year, $105 million extension with the Seattle Seahawks. Let's do the math on that for a second. 3 years, $105 million. What does that tell you guys? That's not $40 million a year. Now we got.
He made the Pro Bowl. Didn't he lead the league in passing?
Yeah, exactly. David Carr, which was what I've been telling you guys forever, is the shoe to drop. Once that dropped, that tells you really what the value is for Daniel Jones, because you can argue those two as who's the better quarterback.
Yep.
And the fact that you can argue that means they should get paid similar. They're similar value.
Yep.
You know, Jones is the better runner. Carr is probably the better passer. Carr has more experience. Jones has more upside. There are pros and cons to either one you can give there at that point. Well, David Carr, 4 years, $150 million. No, I didn't say 160 because that would have been $40 million a year. I said 150. So, yeah.
You would have thought, too, with that signing, I was seeing on Twitter that the Daniel Jones's agents were trying to get up to New Jersey to get something done now that they had this number, and they were kind of coming with their tail between their legs. But after waiting all day, I don't think that's the case.
Well, that's the news there as far as Jones, like you said. Daniel Jones' agents did go to New Jersey today, which I don't think it was for more pork roll, egg, and cheese. I think it was actually to discuss the contract numbers yet again with Joe Shane and company.
That's Redford's tail of ham.
Yeah, Mike Garofalo is someone who said that from NFL. Albert Breer reported that Giants and Jones have closed the financial gap significantly. I'm not sure how significantly. That's a very broad term, folks. That sounds much more optimistic than it should be. Like, if I wanted 10, they wanted to give me 2, and I come down to 6, and they've gone up to 4. There's still a gap there. Yep. Like, don't get too excited when you read these kind of things, because people always try to make it seem optimistic or pessimistic to get half the crowd happy and to read their stuff. So,
Or it's the New Jersey, New York market, man. They're keeping us in suspense. They just want us.
You know what? I gotta say this though. When this kind of crud happens, these guys are all over the place on Twitter, on Facebook, and everything, giving us all the news. Every 2 seconds. Oh my God, Daniel Jones has a new toothbrush. He must be leaving. But where the hell was this during Kadarius Toney? Where the hell was this during Blake Martinez? The media in this area is not nearly as good as it thinks it is. It's not nearly as good as it should be for the kind of area New York is. And I really think a lot of them know more than what happened and don't want to give up their sources because they don't want to tick off the people that give them information. But I'm just calling it out because there's a lot of news I would have loved to have this past season. We didn't get it.
No, it came and then we got it after. We got all the news stories after.
I can tell you how many jumping jacks Daniel Jones took this morning. That's what kind of news we're getting into right now with him.
Hey, listen, we have no idea why Blake left the Giants. All we know is he's selling Pokemon cards and he's doing a hell of a job.
Gotta sell them all.
Yeah. Making good money doing it too. So
but he wasn't doing that when he left us. He went to play for the Raiders. I still want to know what happened. I'm just saying. I hold a grudge in that one. So
maybe Blake saw the writing on the wall. Wasn't that defense horrible this year? Maybe Blake went to 1 or 2 practices and was like, wait, no, this is it.
We played a few games, no?
He did play in a couple games.
Oh, my mistake.
He did play.
I think he played like 4, maybe 6 games.
Yeah, he did play a couple.
It was like week 6. I think he went.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So, look at this. Bert Firkins here. We talk not paying Daniel Jones $40 million yet. Guess what, guys? Guess what time it is? I wish we had a segue and an intro video for this. It's that time! Because I'm telling you right now, I am fired up today about Daniel Jones. Because here's my problem. I have no problem. Get every damn dollar you can. It is football. You never know when your career ends. Get every single dollar you can. Don't fleece us. Don't fleece us. That's where I have an issue now. The market has now been set, Daniel. The whole thing is in your corner. All the reports are you've been given anywhere between $35 to $39 million average per year. That's the reports. If they are true, and you don't sign the dotted line within the next 24 hours to avoid us losing Barkley, because let me be very clear, if he does not sign this contract, we lose Barkley. He is gone.
We can't sign a linebacker then.
Exactly.
We don't have enough cap space.
And what this tells me is Daniel Jones cares more about himself than he cares about winning.
Well, let's give him 20.
And what I mean by that is he cares about his bank account more than he cares about winning. It also tells me that Daniel Jones is afraid he will never get a big contract again. Here's the thing. If you want to bet against yourself, go for it, Jones. Do a 3-year, $105 million contract, something like that, where we can backload the 3rd year. Give yourself 2 years of guaranteed at that point. Give yourself some money still in the 3rd year. Where you still are taken care of. You will never have to work an honest day in your life if you don't want to. You can go live in the sand somewhere, setting up a hammock, drinking rum all day, playing on the beach. Not that I've given a lot of thought to that kind of lifestyle in any way, shape, or form. But you could go do that. Your children can go do that.
Yeah.
Your grandchildren could go do that potentially. Like, you have that kind of money now. I don't want to hear this like, oh, he needs to get every dollar he can. Yes, he does. Get every dollar you should get. That's the difference. You're asking for more than you should get if the numbers are right, Daniel. Come on down. Say it. Say to the team, say to the fans, I want to win. Sign the dotted line.
So the thing that's crazy to me, and first of all, shout out to Bert Firkins. I had him on my podcast, and he literally for 2.5 hours told me we could not pay Daniel Jones over $40 million.
Well, you know what he also said? He also said, I would rather fall downstairs than pay DJ $40 million a year. That's what we just commented as well.
Bert, I trust me.
Scolds.
Bert is on the other side of the Daniel Jones wagon than I am. But the thing that's crazy to me is the markets have been set. All season, we saw players praise Daniel Jones. All players on the team, they love this guy. And DJ would even, like when they won the Colts game and he had that standing ovation, all the players were going up to him, man, I love you, man, I love you. And like you said, he's trying to fleece us right now. That's what it feels like. We just got two quarterbacks that are very comparable to Daniel Jones.
Yes.
You explained it eloquently, Drew. It's exactly how it is.
It's the first time I've been called eloquent. Well, love.
You did it perfectly. I was literally thinking of it, and you were going back and forth on each hand, the pros and the cons. But at this point, it's like, what are you waiting for? You know what your market is.
Yep. And now that you know the market, here's what I want all of them to think of.
This morning.
Yeah.
Derek Carr just got signed this morning, right? Gino just got signed
David
this
Carr.
afternoon.
No, Derek Carr, you're right. Wrong Carr. I'm thinking, I always get the two mixed up. I always get the cars messed up.
See? I'm on point here. So
you're on point. I'm not being eloquent now.
He just got signed. What's that? He's getting $37.5 million a year, pretty much.
Listen, yeah, that sounds about right. I'm not a mathematician here, but that sounds about right.
And then now you got Gino getting 35 a year, right?
Yeah.
You can argue that he's better than Gino, but those deals.
Stop making us do math, damn it.
That deal just happened today. You got to give the guy at least in the morning before you start jumping the bandwagon. He's fleecing us. He's going to pants us.
Listen,
I've been saying this.
Do you honestly think that he's worth $45 million?
No, hands down. I've been saying this since the season ended. He's going to get anywhere between $36 to $38 million. We're going to tag Barkley. Guess what we're going to talk about tomorrow when we find out that we're paying DJ $37.5 million? Is that we just tagged Barkley.
Listen, I'll be happy.
Tagging. I'm just saying. His agents just came up to New Jersey, right? Those deals just went in today. Do you think they went, oh my God, let's go sign? No,
you know what though? No. Here's the problem though. I blame him for that even happening because if you really, really wanted to go ahead and get this done, you would have changed agents a while ago. You wouldn't have waited till 2-3 weeks before the franchise tag. I'm sorry, that's JV. And the whole reason he did it, the rumor is because his prior agents said, no, sorry, you're not worth what you're asking. When your own agents are telling you that, that's a problem.
It's just crazy to me. My mind was going somewhere. Oh, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie. I do understand him wanting over $40 million with the way the cap is going up every year. Let's say we paid him 43.5 or 44. In 4 years from now, that'll be under the median. And so I understand he's like, okay, I want to get in front of it, and then as I'm here for like a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal. But
yeah.
Again, but I'm saying bet against yourself then. If that's what you want to do, then bet against yourself. Do a 3-year deal just like Gino did and bet against yourself. You're young enough, you can get a massive contract.
Yep.
100%. So, like, my whole thing is I think you should get that. I think you should have a set guaranteed amount of money. But we also should have an option to get rid of him the 3rd year just in case things don't work out. Daniel Jones wants to stay a Giant. Look how long he did.
Does he? Prove it. Sign.
Oh, mister.
I'm getting that way because it is too close to the end.
Smith just signed 2 hours ago that you're going to be all sassy pants over here.
No, sir. I've been sassy pants forever, okay?
I'm not going to lie, too. His tone at the end of the year was sus. When he was doing his exit interview, he's like, I don't know. He goes, it's a business, and we'll see what happens. And
he did.
Like, you have Barkley over there going, no, this is not my last game in a Giants uniform. Like, I'll be back next year.
He might be gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I think the thing is, I didn't expect this from Daniel Jones. I thought Daniel Jones would want to stay a Giant. He'd want to stay with Dable. Kafka's even staying. Keep Barkley, who's supposedly one of his best friends.
You know what, though? Here's the thing, though, with Jones, and I'll say this as a compliment to him, because it's brilliant if this is what he does on purpose. He has something in common with Tiger Woods, pre the affair, and Michael Jordan.
That we know of.
Name me their opinion on one thing.
Show me the money.
They both have a very good knack, and Daniel Jones has picked this up probably from growing up watching them. Do not give people any reason to not like you. Don't give any opinion. Be as boring as you can.
You learned it from
that.
Eli. Eli probably told him
look at
Eli. Eli was like, here, just don't say anything and never smile.
Because Eli at least like plays the practical jokes and stuff like that. Stuff that some people are like, oh, that's childish and blah, blah, blah. But and it's first off, it's not childish. If you think that, you need to stop growing up, okay? You need to be a little bit more childlike, okay?
Don't fill out a W-2 form, all right?
Yeah, like, seriously. So we got a couple more comments here. We got Burt chiming back in. $30 million with incentives to get 35 would be the most I would go. Otherwise, he eats almost all the cap space. And Burt, it all depends on two things: how they structure the deal, and how much money is guaranteed. That's really what matters here. John S. Anderson Jr., do you think he deserves more than Geno Smith, especially with Jones' age? What do you think is fair offer then at $5 million? That will be what he gets, I think. And listen, John, I'm with you. I think he's worth a little more than Geno.
Yep, I do too.
But Geno had a better passing year than he did. The big difference is the age. Part I guess that I can't get past is the 15 passing touchdowns when he played 16 games.
But a lot of it was tough because Barkley would get us down, or we get down the field with the passing game, and then Barkley would hit it in from the 1 or the 2. I can remember multiple.
And his receivers weren't the best. He had O-line issues. Like, don't get me wrong, I get the reasons for saying it's still possibly there. I'm just saying I need to see it when I'm giving that kind of money, and it's not necessarily his fault that I haven't seen it.
The problem
is the questioning is still there.
The problem is financially, if you do the tag, we eat all 32 in 1 year. So, like the Bird said, with the 30 and then the 35, let's say we pay him 45. We're not going to pay him $45 million in the first year. We'll probably pay him $20 million. So it's actually $12 million off of our cap for this year. So that's why tagging kind of stinks for the Giants.
So real quick, I'm going to read a couple of the comments we had here on DJ, and then we're going to go off the DJ topic because, guys, I have a feeling we're going to have to do a special episode tomorrow, whether it's going to be him being tagged or him hopefully signing a deal with us and us tagging Barkley. So, guys, keep an eye out. I don't know when we're going to shoot it because it all depends on what happens overall tomorrow, because I think the deadline is 4 o'clock tomorrow, I believe. So, yeah, it could be early evening, could be later in the evening, depending on if we're still getting news on contract details, that kind of stuff. So, play it by ear, but keep an eye. But you know what the best way not to miss those shows are? Hit the bell on YouTube, hit the like on Facebook, go on to Twitch and subscribe, because we're on Twitch too. We are on Twitch. In fact, we got our first comment ever from Twitch, and it was nice spam about chatbots. It was very nice here. So it was very nice.
Great.
Yeah, even the spam comments come up, guys. So both Geno and Derek are bad contracts, in my opinion, and time will tell. That's the thing with a contract; you never know till it's done. He should get all the money he can. It just should not be from the Giants. Bert, we gotta have him. I'm sorry, I'm gonna disagree with you to a certain degree.
This is where we fought. We fought too.
But here's where the difference comes into be: is if it comes down between paying him, the $40 million, if we didn't have the tag option, then yes, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to kill myself for the next 5 years contract-wise. John S. Anderson Jr., got to add DJ run TDs too. Listen, I get it, but he's a quarterback. He's not a running back. And how do you win a Super Bowl? How many mobile running-first quarterbacks have won Super Bowl rings? I'm old school in that way. I want a ring. We're the Giants. We're not the Lions. Winning a playoff game is not enough. We got Host of Horror. Nowadays, top QBs and QBs on rookie deals win Super Bowls. Paying mid-tier quarterbacks like Cousins or Jones seems like you're wasting time and money. And that's the thing, is we don't know fully what Jones is. But yeah, if he is the mid-tier, any contract we sign could end up being a mistake in the end. But like I said, we're going to go and put the pause button on. And we're going to go off to the next topic here, guys, because we're going to be talking Jones, I have a feeling, for a while tomorrow. See, now John S. Anderson pops in. A QRB, oh my God. He calls him Jalen Jones his new title QRB. It's not wrong in there. All right, no more jokes. All right, so other news here, Giants related. So we have John Feliciano has said he would love to be back with the Giants. We already talked about how they've already started talking to him about a possible new contract. I think the fact that they've said that publicly, he said this publicly, means guess what, guys? Expect John Feliciano back. Hopefully there's a nice spot on the bench for him next to a Gatorade bottle or something where he can just chill out, relax, be like the guy who yells from the bench and supports the team. Because I'll tell you this, love him or hate him, that guy's probably one hell of a cheerleader on the sidelines.
Yeah.
He is probably that guy pumping up everybody on that bench. And I'm not a huge fan of his play. I don't hate his play. I'm not a huge fan of it. But I think as a guy like that, there's some value to it. You can say all you want about that makes no sense. You don't hire a cheerleader on the team, but there's something about morale that's about pumping people up, and that guy can do it. So I'm okay with it as long as the money's right. Let's see, we got Chris Smith has joined the staff here as the new assistant O-line coach. He was the OC at Holy Cross last year and was their O-line coach prior. Now, I looked them up to see, because let me be very frank with you guys. This may disappoint some of you. I do not keep up on Holy Cross football. I know this might... I feel like I should just take myself off the screen right now. But yeah, they average about 35 points a game on offense. So, yeah, not a bad offense, regardless of where you're playing, because even if you play for a small school, you play small schools. So you still got talent. And if anything, when you're a small school, it's hard for you to beat up on a small opponent, because you're the one that's usually getting beat up on. So therefore, I'm gonna give credence to that and say, okay, the guy must know something. Plus, in Dable we trust. So, like I said, we'll let that go there. Michael Trierer, who was a assistant DB coach last year for us, has now been named the safeties coach. So he teaches everybody about safety, not running with scissors, looking both ways before you cross the road. No. Yes. So he'll be working with McKinney and Belton,
McKinney,
and whoever else. We don't know who else we're gonna have yet, but yeah, it's an important position because we can have some really new faces there. Christian Jones was the offensive assistant last season. He's been named the assistant QB coach, and guess why, folks? What does that tell you? The Giants realize they're probably not going to have either Turney or Kafka next year, and you're going to have to get that transition started. And I think they're getting that into play. I haven't heard anybody report it as that yet, but I'm telling you guys, point blank, that's what I think is going on, because they're going to lose Kafka or Turney probably next season if they continue with the success they're having. So they're getting everything ready to go to kind of get everything lined up for him to be the new QB coach next year. We also have Angela Baker, named an offensive assistant. She was the offensive quality control coach last season for us, which leads me into a perfect segue, almost as if I planned it. Last week, Dable also spoke at the NFL Women's Forum. So here was a quote that I heard on him hiring women to his coaching staff last season. As a Giant fan, loved hearing this, dude. Loved hearing this. So he said, I didn't hire the women because I have daughters. I didn't hire them because I have strong people who are women in my life. I hire them because they are good. There's such a great talent pool that is untapped. That is a great quote. You hire the best person for the job, regardless of anything else, unless they happen to be Michael Vick or Deshaun Watson. Then those people you do not hire. But no, seriously, it's nice to see that the Giants are taking a kind of center stage position in that, because you're seeing coaches pop up everywhere in the NFL all of a sudden that are women, and you just never heard of it even just 3-4 years ago. So it's nice to see the Giants in the forefront of welcoming themselves to the 20th century, even if it is the 21st century now. So kudos to I think we'll get rid of the fax machine next. Perhaps we'll go ahead and they'll put away their Microsoft Zunes. So let's get into the topic of the day here. The edge position, the pass rushers, one of the most storied positions in all of the Giants' history. And the Giants, let's be honest, have an amazing history that I think most NFL teams would give up their left testicle to get. See, I kept it clean, Rob. I said testicle instead of nut.
Yeah. You big old goofball.
Oh, God. Oh, well, I tried. It almost happened. So let's get into it here, talking about this past year's performers. So we have Azeez Ojulari I have on my list first, because I know Will really wants to talk about Kayvon because I can see the jersey he's wearing. So I purposely am putting Azeez Ojulari first to keep the suspense building. And what a weird year. It's almost like I don't know how to quite even... It's like an incomplete A-. Like, if you think about it, he was in 7 games, had 5.5 sacks. I know, Rob, you hate when I do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know I'm going to do it.
You're going to average it out?
If he was in a complete season...
Yes.
No, I'm just saying when he does it week 4, and he goes, this is what they're going to do here. I'm like,
let's get past I'm sorry. At week 4, when you go, this person has 270 yards receiving for the year, that sounds small. But when you go, hold on a minute, they're going to have almost 1,100 yards in the season if they keep this up. That shows you a little bit where they're actually at. Listen, I'm trying to do the math for people because I hate math. So I use a calculator before the show, and I make it seem easy for people, okay? People appreciate that, okay? Sheesh. So I know I didn't do the math in this one here, but if you just do the simple math of times 2 is 14, that puts him at 11 sacks. So he probably would have had about 13, 14 sack season he was on pace for if he played all the games. That's pretty goddamn impressive.
It's honestly hard.
So once you take the math, I want to take you to, once you take an equation, how much was he hurt in those games right before he stopped playing? Because he could have had 16. 17.
Listen, I'm not getting that much into the math, okay? You and your Common Core fuzzy math over here, okay? But I'm just saying.
Whoa.
I went there.
Common Core was not this guy.
You're a Jersey boy. I'm sure you were taught it.
One of the interesting things too, I was actually looking up some Azeez stats the other day, and I saw out of all the games he did play, out of the 7, he only played above 60% of the snaps on one of those games.
Yeah.
That's
because
crazy.
He was coming back from injury in pretty much every single one of them.
And it's like those calf and hamstring injuries, which if you have one at the beginning of the year, it's so tough. Yeah. I feel for him on that.
I gotta wonder, and I know some people have told me I'm crazy.
As I say, every other game is coming back from injury.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I gotta wonder if he bulked up too much this off season, and that's what did it. And I don't want to say it because anybody who sees me, I mean, I obviously know nothing about bulking up, so I'm not going to suggest that. Rob, you're the one who knows more about bulking up here. Why don't you give us a little synopsis on that? Am I crazy? We got you, Rob?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I think we lost Rob. He's talking. We can't. Rob, we can't hear you. You're not unmuted. We'll get back to you, Rob. We'll get back to you. When you get internet again, we'll get back to you. But yeah.
Yeah, the point about the 10 pounds of...
Oh, there he is. We got him. And we lost him. Back to Will.
I know once I start talking, we'll probably get him back, but...
Probably.
But yeah, with Azeez, it was. I think it may have been that 10 pounds he added on, just bulking up and stuff, may have caused something in the off season to maybe tweak something in training camp, which then led to the whole season. But like we said, he did a good job. Oh,
no, yeah. So what happens is internet's on delay now.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's the struggle's always real.
As John S. Anderson says, they killed Roberto. You bastards. He's not Kenny. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
The other thing that's interesting about Azeez, and I don't have a stat for this, but it felt like whenever Azeez was playing or was playing well, Kayvon was either hurt or not playing well. And then the games where Kayvon really showed up and where he didn't show up maybe as much as Azeez did his rookie year, when Kayvon did show up, it seemed like Azeez was either hurt or not really doing a whole lot.
I think, was it the Colts? Is that the only game we actually had all those guys together?
I think you're right. I think
it was. The game that we absolutely destroyed the opponent. Granted, it was the Colts.
Still, it doesn't.
The little Giants could have beat the Colts. I'm just saying.
We took what we could get. Okay, it was one of the most fun Sundays of football I've had in a long time.
Rob's coming back, guys.
You couldn't kill him.
Possibly. Nope. His thing's just spinning. There he is.
Gonna make it back.
You make it back, but you're slight delay, but you're good. You're back. We can hear you. Fantastic. John missed you, by the way. He suggested we killed you, and then he called us bastards.
You bastards.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you got my back. You bastards.
There goes the child-friendly one. But yeah, I mean, like I said, amazing season. It's just hard to give him too much props when you only played 7 games. And again, I don't want to blame him for that because injuries are injuries. It's not like this is the guy that's been out every single year. It's his second year in the league. He had no issues, with his first year. He had no issues his last year at Georgia. So, injuries happen, guys.
Yep.
If he can come back next year and be healthy and be even 2/3 of what he was this season for us, I'll be a very happy guy.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree.
Yeah.
I don't like these reports I'm seeing. I see random Twitter posts about potentially trading Azeez for different players. Like I saw something for Hopkins from the Cardinals.
Yes.
And like a 3rd-round pick and then Azeez. And I was thinking to myself, holy.
Stay away from D-Hop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but I guess I wanted to cement. I do not want to trade Azeez.
Well, we can't afford D-Hop anyway. We got to pay $70 million to Daniel Jones, so we're done here. Got to pay half our salary cap.
Yeah, exactly.
So, on to the next guy we have on the list here, who I think Will is going to be a pretty big fan of, and that's Jihad Ward. No, I'm kidding. We got Kayvon Thibodeaux, Mr. Snow Angel himself, Mr. Performer, Kayvon Thibodeaux. Will, why don't you be the one here to give the synopsis? You got the jersey on. You earned that right.
Oh man, I thought Kayvon had a really good rookie season. I don't know if that is the opinion of everyone listening or here, but I thought he had a really good rookie season. He didn't have the numbers that Azeez had. But the thing I saw him have that I didn't see Azeez have was Kayvon would take over games. 2 in particular that come to mind. The Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. And it's like people who watch football like just at random times, they don't understand that sacks aren't everything when it comes to edge rushers. Yep. QB pressures are a huge part of what edge rushers game is. And then the other game that also really obviously, is the Washington game. His strip sack is the difference between winning and losing that game and us going to the playoffs.
What about the fumble recovery in Baltimore even, too? I don't think people talk about that enough.
Absolutely.
I will say that was great player IQ to just go down and rip it right up.
Though I do think the announcers definitely kissed his ass, butt a little bit too much on that one there. I was just like, oh, look at Kayvon. He did that. That was so smart. The ball was on the ground. He just picked it up. Like, who else would have thought of that? Like, who would have thought the ball's in the ground? You pick it up when it's live. Like, this is what you're talking, like, 2nd grade PE football. Who would have thought? You keep going. You pick it up. You take the ball.
It was absolutely crazy. The only other thing... So where he had these games he took over, he also had a lot of games where he was really quiet.
Yes.
And he didn't do a whole lot. And I was watching some film today, actually, because obviously wearing my Kayvon jersey, and I said I should probably know what I'm talking about a little bit here.
Are you saying you didn't know before today? Hold on, we got the wrong guy. Hold on.
Bring in the next guest.
Damn it. Gotta vet these people better.
One of the very fair. One of the things I saw Kayvon do a lot was he relied on his strength a lot more than his speed, which is kind of shocking to me. For example, like that strip sack in Washington, that was speed. I think he got that strip sack in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that enough. He kept trying to bull rush people, which is why he had so many holding problems. Because in the NFL, there's like the rule of holding when you're bull rushing. Offensive linemen can get away with that more often. And I think that may have been one of the reasons he had so many holds. I could ramble about this forever, but...
Well, it's also could be part of the reason why it took him longer to get to the quarterback, which is why he got pressures instead of sacks.
Exactly.
Because he tried to bull rush, make that speed move, and then got past him.
Yep,
but
exactly.
You're right on the holding. This is going to be his career make or break thing is can he learn to get out of the holds? Because crying to the referee doesn't work. You're not LeBron James.
No.
You're not LeBron James. You can't just cry to the refs and get your way.
Soccer.
Yeah. Yes. And actually against the Eagles in the playoff game, which I'm trying to forget every day.
Oh, we had a playoff game against the Eagles?
Yeah. I just remember a couple
I thought we didn't play them once this year.
I just remember him jumping up, like screaming at the refs. And it's like at some point your technique has to beat their technique. Because part of football is catering to the refs. What can I get away with?
Yeah, but it's also don't get frustrated and show your opponent you're frustrated, because when you do that,
they're going to get in your head.
They're going to get in your head.
No.
They're gonna. And he's an emotional guy. I get it. You don't change who he is. But you can be a smart, emotional person at the same point.
Exactly.
And that's part of that.
And I think he's going to get better and better and better. I think he had a good rookie year, but I think his upside is ridiculous to me.
Listen, with Edge, all I want to see the rookie year is potential.
Yeah.
Exactly. All I want to see, because there's not a lot of people that get into the NFL as a rookie and just blow it up. And I know some Giant fans probably are like, oh, what about what Micah Parsons did last year? Like, that's the exception to the rule. Every single time there's a draft, you're going to get one or two guys who excel, like Sauce Gardner this year. Usually you don't have potentially the best corner in all of football be a rookie. That's not normal.
No.
So we can't expect Kayvon to rip it up and tear apart the NFL as a rookie, especially a rookie who had an injury in the beginning of the season and missed some games, missed some times. That you learn things your rookie year. And the middle of his rookie year was the beginning of his rookie year.
Yep.
We were just seeing what would have been the middle of his season towards the end of the season, when he started figuring things out, when he started getting more rushes, when he started getting to the quarterback more often. You mentioned the Thanksgiving game. How many times did he smack the crap out of Dak Prescott?
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was
beautiful.
It was. I mean, it would have been nice if we got some more receptions out of it too, because it's Dak Prescott's specialty. But I mean, it's just it's a nice thing to watch, because this is old school Giant football. Old school Giant football. Get to the quarterback, because if you put him on his butt, he can't throw.
Yep.
You get long third downs, and then
he makes terrible throws.
Yes.
Exactly. Yep.
Or he's Dak Prescott and he makes them whether there's pressure or not. Ooh.
And one of the things too with Kayvon, he didn't have the sack production that Azeez had, but Kayvon in his rookie year actually had 9 more pressures than Azeez did his rookie year.
Yeah.
So just to kind of keep that in perspective.
But you also got to
Oh yeah.
But how many less sacks would the Giants had this year if Kayvon was not putting the pressure on the quarterback or breaking through the line?
Absolutely.
Well, here's part you got to remember as well, though. I'm going to give you guys what I call the Matt Judon theory. He played for the Ravens. Was he a sack beast? Not at all.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
He was not a sack beast whatsoever. He was a guy who got 6 or 7 sacks a season. He goes to the Patriots. He's a sack beast. Because he always had the ability. It's not Wink's system. Wink's system is get you scared, get you to throw early, so you can't get the first down. It's not even to sack the quarterback. It's to disrupt the quarterback. So you're right in that we can't go after sacks with a guy like Kayvon, because that's not how Wink's defense is set up. So he's set up to go ahead and pressure the quarterback, which Kayvon did that a hell of a lot. So I'm happy with the rookie year. If this was hypothetically a ceiling, I would not be happy. But as a rookie year, I'm good with it. I saw growth. I saw potential. So hopefully we'll keep seeing that.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is probably the one positive. The other edge rushers we had on the team were not very good this year.
Well, we appreciate your candor, Will.
So it was nice to see Kayvon, who obviously I have a lot of faith in, actually live up to some of the hype. Room to grow for sure, but in a position where I think the Giants definitely underachieved, it was nice that he had a good year.
I would like to take this moment to, maybe for the final time, thank the Jacksonville Jaguars for being morons.
Oh my God.
Because
crazy.
Let's take Walker first overall. That makes sense. I'm sorry, it wasn't. That wasn't the right move. That was not the right move.
I made a reaction video to the first 7 picks of that draft. The most excited I was when we got Kayvon. The second most was Evan Neal, and the third most excited was when Jacksonville took Walker. I was so ecstatic about that, because I truly believe if they had taken Hutchinson, the Lions would have taken Kayvon.
Oh yeah,
I truly believe that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the Lions pretty much said as much as well. So we also have other good news to be excited about. The person who commented us on Twitch has now followed us also on Twitch. So, yeah, there we go. Expect more spam posts, guys.
Woo-hoo.
Expect more.
Hey,
John S. Anderson Jr. Put him on his butt. He can't throw. Reminds me of something a pimp told me once. He tells his hoes, whoa, what's going on? Take it in the butt. You gets no gut. LOL. Wow. This is why I need to read the comments before I put them up, John. I just put up, hey, new comment. Click. I didn't even read it beforehand. Wow. John, you went to a dark place there.
I mean, you also read
Fantastic.
spam earlier, so obviously
Listen,
we have a process.
I told you, I have to put every comment up. I have to do it. It just is what it is. Like, you know.
One final thing about Thibodeaux, I love his trash talk. I love that he didn't know who Jeff Saturday was. I'm just going to say, I love the snowman. I love all of it.
See, the snowman I didn't like as much, only because of the appearance of it. I'm not upset at him for celebrating a sack. But what I would like is him to have a better knowledge of what's going around him, because that was just a bad look.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, his hand's like hitting the guy that's like flailing on the ground next to him while he's doing it. Like,
I don't know why. I just
listen. I'm not upset about it. That's old school football. Like, I'm not upset about it. Don't get me wrong. I just think there was better options.
Good. It's been so long since we got to watch the Giants win a football game.
The guys go.
Oh, we lost you again, Rob.
There are all these guys. Why? Who was that?
We lost you again.
I'm saying all these guys.
Oh, and we lost him now for good. Off of his head, apparently.
Maybe he's becoming like Kenny. Doesn't Kenny always die and then come back?
Maybe Kayvon was doing a snow angel next to him.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, yeah. I mean, you could clearly see Kayvon bumping, convulsing Nick Foles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bad look. It's a bad look.
I don't know. Again, I'm just speaking as a very selfish Giants fan. We've been so bad the past 5 years, especially at pass rush. I mean, nothing substantial.
No.
Now we have this guy who's having a hell of a game, and it was like, finally. I don't know. For me, it was like.
Yeah, like I said, I'm game with it. I just think that's the one bit of awareness he needs.
Not a great
like,
look.
imagine. Okay, now this is going to be a bad analogy I'm about to make, but I'm going to go with it because I don't give a damn. Imagine if that was DeMar Hamlin next to him.
Jeez, you're right.
I'm just saying, like, you don't know the scenario. For the rest of his career, he would have been known as the guy that was celebrating next to somebody dying on the field.
No, it's a good point.
You gotta be conscious of what's going on around you. So let's get on to the people that we forgot were conscious on the field sometimes, the backup edge rushers. So I'm going to give you one guy that I do like, and that is Jihad Ward. We talked about him for a brief second there as I was messing with you, but Jihad Ward, I like him. Here's why I do like him. I think he provides a veteran presence. Yep. I think he's probably the best at setting the edge against the run that we have in that group.
Fair.
And I think he showed me more than I expected as an edge rusher in the past. I really think I expected him to get like 1 or 2 sacks, and that was it, and, kind of luck into those. He got 3 sacks. I mean, don't get me wrong, he didn't light it up. But
that was the most in his career.
Yeah, he was better than I thought he'd be against the pass. So I'm cool with having him back. Everything you read, basically, he'll stay as long as Wink stays. Yeah. He's a Wink guy. So, I mean, we'll probably have him back again next year. He'll probably be cheap again next year. So, yeah, expect to see him back.
Hopefully with Azeez healthier, he's on the bench a little bit more, which I'm okay with.
And he comes out on run plays specifically and that kind of stuff, where it makes a little more sense to have him. The rest of the backups, Tamon Fox, I'm okay with him as a bottom-level guy / practice squad guy.
The only undrafted free agents we had make the roster and actually play, which was kind of.
I say he played more than most of the people we drafted.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So it's a cool story.
But yeah, like I said, I'm okay with him being a bottom level guy / practice squad guy. O'Shane Zimenez, bye bye.
I do want to. I took some notes on it with Azeez and Kayvon. They were both hurt. I think it was like weeks 1, 2, and 3. Both of them were missing.
Yep.
And it was like prime time for O'Shane Zimenez to come out and show us some of that rookie year like flash that he had. And he did basically nothing. He had a 3.7 pressure percentage, which was 81st in the league.
Yep.
He had 1 sack against Carolina, and it was a sack where it was already, the play was kind of blown up, and then he was just the person to get in there. And he had no quick wins at all. Whenever I would watch him play, there was nothing there that seemed explosive to me.
Oh, Rob's back. Speaking of explosive, should we let him back in? Should we let him back in? There he is.
Absolutely.
There he is. So, Rob, we were just talking about O'Shane Zimenez, and I was basically saying, yeah, goodbye, and Will was pretty much agreeing there.
X is going to get it to you out of there.
Yeah, X has already given it to us by taking all our money for the last couple of years and not giving much.
I'm not going to lie, though. It would have been so cool if he was really good and him and McKinney could have been the X-Men.
Oh,
How
yes.
cool that would have been.
That
would have been so cool.
Jeans.
Don't get sued for copyright. Don't get sued for copyright. This is not copyright.
So now you have YouTube copyright and Brett Favre are both coming for you.
No, it's okay because when I said don't sue me for copyright, that gave it lyrics, and lyrics changed it, made it my own.
Oh, fair. Transformative.
See, exhibit.
Did you say transformative? Did you say transformative while wearing a Transformer shirt? You did not just do that.
Listen, O'Shea is going to be part of the X-Men, EX-Men.
Yeah.
The
XG-Men. So, and Ellerson Smith, I think it's also time to go. The man can't stay healthy. I'm done. I'll say this, I don't mind keeping him as a camp body, but if he makes the roster, something went awry.
Yeah, we didn't draft well, or we didn't pick up any free agents.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta always remember we need camp bodies. Or injuries, because injuries do happen, especially for the Giants. Hopefully this new turf is better for us. We'll see how that goes. So I think it's pretty safe to say we got 3 guys that we trust are going to be on the team next year. That'll be playing significant roles, but that's not enough. We need some other people here. We need probably 2 other guys that we actually trust to play the position. So I looked at the free agents coming off, and I looked at it and said, who could we get that'd be probably relatively cheap, has shown something in their career, and would make sense to bring in? So you got a young guy in Kayvon Thibodeaux being mentored by one of the greatest defensive linemen to ever play the game in Michael Strahan, who I believe owns the Gap. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Just a random thing. Seriously, if the news came down that Michael Strahan bought the Gap, I would find that to be the most funny article ever. I would go ahead and frame it. It'd be back there next to the Gnome or something. Like, it'd be up on the wall. But, yeah.
It would be his brand new marketing, Giant A, and Gap would be the Gap in his teeth.
But I do think we got to look at the fact that Strahan hasn't played in a while. The game does change. And that's not to say he can't bring great value towards mentoring Kayvon, because that's not what I mean before anybody says anything crazy. I just think that you can get a guy who's still playing, still has something left that can show him a little more in the modern game. By the way, real quick before I get into that list, Rob, John S. Anderson has some information for you. Roberto didn't pay his cable bill, LOL. Comcast is calling for you in his house. So here's a couple of free agents. I was looking at a couple of older guys that have been around for a while. We might be able to get cheap because they're old. Because every year, I know how this happens, why the Giants don't ever take advantage of this. Every single year, you get older edge guys that nobody wants for some reason. They'll start the year even as a free agent still. And they're clearly better than the bums we have as backups. And I get, don't give a young guy's role to an old guy. But when you have no young guys that are anything value-wise, give the old guy the shot. At least he'll play better than the young guy who will probably be out of the league next year.
Yep.
So here's an interesting one for you, because it depends on how he does money-wise. Robert Quinn. Pass rush specialist at this point in his career, 32, had a big year 2 years ago, was injured all of last year, was the best trade I ever saw the Eagles make because they lost a draft pick and got absolutely nothing for it, basically. But if he's healthy next year, he could be cheap because he didn't play it all last year, basically. And he's not that far removed from being a dominant, pass rusher. It wasn't like he was like a guy who did like 5 or 6 sacks. Like, I'm talking like broke the record for the most sacks by a Chicago Bear.
Kind of be like a Marcus Golden when we had Marcus Golden come in for that 1 year where he kind of popped off.
But better and not just lucky.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, he had the highest success rate for pressure rate versus sack rate. It's insanity.
Wild.
So I got him. I have also on that list Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
6 sacks last year, 33 years old. Justin Houston, who for some reason people always forget about, but he had 9.5 sacks last year at the age of 34. These are guys that we can throw in specifically on the pass rush downs, that we can just let them pin their ears back and go right for the quarterback. Kind of like the old NASCAR packages we used to have back in the day with, having Tuck and OC and JPP or Strahan, depending on which Super Bowl run we're talking, Kiwanuka. We had all these guys to rush the passer at once. We could do that again in the short term with some of these older guys by having the guys in the middle like Sexy Dexy and potentially Leonard Williams, depending on what happens with his contract. Kayvon Ojulari, assuming he's healthy, and put the barbell down and get another guy like that to go in there. You got 5 guys that are rushing that quarterback. One of them's going to get through. That's life.
And one of the things too, I think it was the Bills this year who had basically interchangeable defensive linemen between the mid guys and the edge rushers, and it was pretty much at the beginning of the year not unstoppable but super efficient because these guys never got tired. They would interchange them out as quickly as they came in and out to basically keep them all.
Look at the Eagles. Look at the Eagles. I hate to say it. I hate to say that. Listen, as much as I hate the Eagles and Cowboys, I'll be one of the first ones to give them kudos when they do things right. Because if you don't learn from these people when they do things right, you're not going to do the same things right. And they had 4 or 5 people over 10 sacks this year because they kept on rotating. And then they just randomly, we lost 1 game. Let's get Sue. Let's get Linval Joseph. You can stock up on these older defensive linemen who still have something in the tank that'll be very cheap, and they'll come to a winning team. And guess what, guys? We're a winning team again. People might want to play here. It's crazy, I know. People might want to be a Giant again. Yes, I know. They might be Giants.
They're no longer the little Giants.
Yes. No, God bless. I agree. The only thing that's scary, or the only thing I think about the Eagles too, and it's one of the things Giants fans have been saying, is that's why drafting cornerbacks and having cornerbacks is so good, because when you have James Bradbury and Darius Slay, all of your edge rushers have an extra 2 seconds.
But here's the interesting thing: is you say that they didn't draft either one of those 2.
No, the free agent signings. Yeah.
They traded one and signed for the other. Yep. Because they traded for Slay, didn't they? I think.
Yeah, you're right. From the Lions. Yeah. Yep.
So I got 2 other names for you guys that aren't geriatric. So the first one, Clelin Ferrell out of Clemson, the former teammate of Sexy Dexy Dexter Lawrence. And first off, I don't blame him for what happened to the Raiders and him. I blame the Raiders. They drafted that man way too early. He was going to make a mid-first round pick. They made him, number 4 was it, or number 6, something like that?
I think it was number 6.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. That was a typical Raider pick.
Oh my God.
This is why you don't hire somebody off NFL Network to be your draft guy. I'm sorry. You just don't do it. Let him be an assistant GM first, at least. But I don't expect the world out of this guy. Don't get me wrong. But if he can be a guy who can be a good backup, who can spot start us, that's all we need. Not every signing needs to be a star.
Nope.
Sometimes you're just quality depth pieces, and that's what you need on a team that has injury issues, which we've had pretty much every year since the dawn of time.
And especially on the edge rusher position, too.
Yep.
So, no, you're absolutely right. With Azeez and Kayvon, we don't need someone to start on the edge. We need people to fill in, like you said. That's easier shoes to fill.
I'm going to give you guys another interesting name. I gave Will this one already before, so he already knows what's coming. But Rob and I did not talk about this, unless you saw it in my notes. What about bringing back Lorenzo Carter? It was a 1-year deal he signed with the Falcons. He did not exactly light the world on fire with them. And that's not a good sign for me to say that. We should bring back this guy who didn't light the world on fire. But again, guys, we're not looking for stars.
Yep.
He started all 17 games for them. If he was that bad, they would have benched him. I know it's the Falcons, but they still would have benched him. He was actually their best pass rusher they pretty much had on the team, even though he only had 4 sacks. But let's think about this, guys. If he had 4 sacks with us, he's tied for third in the team.
Yeah, I was about to say 4 sounds pretty good right now.
So
Jihad Ward had 3 and O'Shane had 1.
He would have tied. He would have tied Thibodeaux with 4. So yeah, like I said, again, this is not a guy that would light the world on fire, but he'd be a good quality backup guy that could step in and play if he had to. And he also has the benefit of knowing the team.
Yep. Exactly.
So if you were on the team for more than 1 year, he knows you. And a lot of Giant fans were upset we lost him. They thought he had all this potential because he played well the end of his rookie contract there.
Yeah.
Played very well. Then got a new contract. But he didn't get paid that much. But like I said, I think it's a good option to add him because I think he's a good addition for us. Like I said, because of what he can do. He said, be that guy to be the backup, be that guy to spot start us when need be, and that's all we need. So that's my. Anybody else you guys have? That's my list of people I was looking at, and I know my geriatric options are probably not going to happen, but the last 2.
Those are pretty good. I can't see Lorenzo Carter coming back, but someone like a Melvin Ingram or someone like that who would come on not a minimum, but a contract that would be a little bit more favorable because of his age. And I still think he has stuff left in the tank. That'd be an awesome signing. I don't want to take it back to the Jones discussion, but that's why that conversation scares me because we need that cap space to be able to make signings like this to improve spots where drafting just didn't work, like O'Shane Ximines, Lorenzo Carter. Ellerson Smith, it's just not. They're not filling in that second spot. So
you hear that, Jones? Don't be selfish. Sign the damn paper. Sign the damn paper.
Sign the damn line.
They're already giving you more than Carr and Geno. You're not going to get more than both of them together. Stop it.
No.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah. So you got anybody else, Rob? Or as he muted himself, I asked him a question. He mutes himself. I see how it is, Rob.
I sneezed. I'm sorry.
Oh, how dare you sneeze? I was asking you a question. Who has the cold here, me or you? So, but you're actually in the cold though, unlike me. So therefore,
it was in the 50s today. It was actually, I think it's 61 today. It's nice.
It was 61, you say, huh? Let's see. Where am I at here in sunny Clearwater here? 72 right now as we speak.
So
speak.
You're supposed to be getting snow soon.
Yeah, I live up in New England, actually, so I'm around a bunch of Patriots fans.
Oh.
Right now it's 34.
It's bonkers.
34, yes. I'm literally more than twice the temperature you have.
That's why I have the sweatshirt on under the jersey.
That's bad. Yes, anybody else you want to add to that discussion of free agents, Rob?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I like your idea with Ingram. That's about it.
That's about it. Wow. Only one idea you liked of mine. He's like, that's the only one. All your other ideas suck.
Only one.
The only one. You bum. So, on to guys to draft. Now, for those of you who paid attention to our defensive line discussion we had there on Friday, first off, thank you. Those who didn't, go back.
Shame on you.
It's a good one. Exactly. Shame on you if you don't watch it. But so we went ahead and did the same kind of thing I'm going to talk about here as well. I'm going to skip over the first couple of rounds of players because we're not going to draft an edge rusher in the first couple of rounds. And if we do, it's because somebody that we're not even going to talk about right now is going to drop like a rock for no apparent reason, like an Azeez Ojulari did a couple of years ago. And we'll go ahead and take him. We can't foresee that kind of thing happening. So I start off my list of edge rushers with the only one we talked to at the entire NFL Combine, Mr. B.J. Ojulari, Azeez Ojulari's brother, not from another mother, but the same mother. And it's just, it'd be so weird having both Ojularis on the same exact team. It would be, but I just don't see it happening because I think he's going to go faster than we're going to be able to want to take him. Yeah, if he drops like the third round, I think we'll take him. potentially. But I really think what the combine conversation was, and let me put it this way, I'm in sales, so therefore I think of things from a psychological warfare kind of mentality at times. And I think what was going on was they talked about him, to talk to him, to kind of appease Azeez. Try saying that 10 times fast. Appease Azeez.
Pieces.
Somebody's being attacked by bumblebees over here. But I think that's part of what it was, is let's go ahead and talk to him because it would make Azeez happy. We like Azeez. You want to keep him long term potentially. So let's talk to him, and if the option's there later on, if he drops, let's go for it. But I really think that's what it was. But even just looking at him, I'm not so sure where he fits exactly because of his size. He's a little undersized for the position overall, but he's very athletic. All accounts, he's that like natural leader kind of mentality. On or off the field on the for the LSU Tigers there. So not a bad guy to have, but even him and he were talking. This is the earliest guy we're talking about here. Has some flaws here. So as I do with pretty much every draft talk we do, I give you guys a different rating for each one because I'm not going to be loyal to any of them because they're not paying me, so screw it. So I used Draft Tech rankings this time, and they actually went ahead and updated it as of this morning. So they had him ranked as the 10th edge rusher overall. So I skipped the top 9 by doing that. 61st on their board overall. And the only guy that I put could go in the second round. Everybody else after that was third round on. So in the third round, we had Byron Young out of Tennessee. Good burst guy, very competitive. Another guy needs some size, though. He needs to add mass. Needs to also get better at his footwork. But again, this is why these guys were in the third round. If they were perfect, they'd be first round picks.
Do we feel like we need size? Is that like the thought process, just from your guys' opinion?
Part of it is for me because Azeez is Azeez has had health issues, and I don't know if we're gonna have another big guy like that because Kayvon's smaller.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kayvon's a speed guy.
Yeah, so you want to have a big guy next to a speed guy, so you have both options.
Yeah. You were gonna say something, Rob?
No, I'm just saying, look what we just went through with Ojulari. As I broke up before, I know that's where Drew was going. Is that, he packed on the weight. Now you're talking
but he packed it on.
First two guys who want
Oh, we're losing you again, Rob.
pick up need to pack on
Maybe
some weight.
it's Azeez coach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
losing
not a
you.
sports scientist nor doctor.
Can you hear me now?
Maybe. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, you're just coming through really delayed.
Maybe.
But here's my thing is that there's two types of weights. There's big guys who are naturally big, and there are guys who work their tail off to get big. So the problem is Azeez is to work his tail off and making his body an unnatural shape to do it. Yep. If you can get a guy who naturally carries big weight, that's a different scenario than having a guy like Azeez who's been packing on the pounds in the weight room. They're all not in the gym, don't get me wrong, but so the big thing
your body needs a certain amount of time to pack on that kind of weight that he's been packing on. You just can't do that in off season.
Yes,
there's repercussions to it.
Yep,
you have to take it
this year.
Not to talk about football, but there was a pretty big UFC fight this weekend with John Jones coming back, and he was a light heavyweight. He was out of the octagon for 3 years to gain 30 pounds to come back in and fight.
Listen.
So there's a difference.
Yeah.
If we're talking other sports this weekend, I'm gonna have to bring up the fact that I was there at the the Grand Prix of St. Pete this weekend for the main race right at the finish line, and I get to once again be amazed that they have a driver named Will Power. His name is literally Will Power. Yes.
Power. I love it.
I want to know if he has a brother named Max. Because the Simpsons episode, everything comes true. Everything comes true. But yeah. So like I said, we got the first two there. So the third one we got Andrew Carter II. Pinky's out because we're saying the second. I don't know why. Isn't it just Junior usually? But they call him Andrew Carter II. Interesting case here. He played for Army. And I know what probably people are thinking, wait a minute, he played for Army, he's got to go into the military. That's the rule, that's what you sign up for. No, he does not, because some crazy law they passed now where he can defer that till after he's done, kind of like David Robinson did when he came out of Navy all those years ago, as I aged myself talking about David Robinson. People are like, huh? David Robinson? Yes, he was the guy with the mustache that played. Well, I guess, yeah, he still had the mustache then. That played with Tim Duncan when he was young. Yeah. But yeah, he went to Navy. That's why he was called the Admiral. It was a very big thing because when you played for those kind of schools, you had to go into the military. That's what you signed up for. There was no waiver. There was no nothing. But he just happened to be the only guy that was like a first-round talent to have that happen. So the Navy made an exception of him. Put him in every Navy commercial they could and made a ton of extra recruits off of him. So this is, I guess, what they're hoping now, because that was the pitch apparently to Congress, saying if you give these guys the chance to play and then go to the military afterwards, it'll help recruiting. Because you can actually use these guys later on in commercials. Join the Army, join the Marines, just like I did. So yeah, he's got the exemption. Once he's done, he's got to do 5 years active service and then 3 years of the reserve. But in the meantime, he's an interesting case. Guy came out of nowhere. Played wide receiver and tight end in high school. Never played defense. They moved him over to be an edge rusher in Army. Didn't play much his freshman year. Played a little bit only his sophomore year. His junior league, he led the nation in sacks per game. 14.5 sacks. In college, that's a big damn number. 17 tackles for loss.
Wow.
Then his numbers went way down to 22. And from everything they're saying that I'm reading, basically the thought process is that there was tape on him. People kind of learned his moves. He's a pass rush specialist. And you keep a pass rush specialist on the field for too long, they get exposed. Yep. And that's what happened. So they're thinking about, a late third round kind of pick for this guy as somebody you can bring on in passing downs, rush the passer, be that guy to kind of come in and give a little oomph to that. Kind of like we talked about doing with that NASCAR kind of package like we used to do back in the day. So that's a name to look at, I think, as a potential. What I think is going to be interesting, though, is they have him ranked at 83rd overall prospect. We have 2 late third round picks. If he drops a little bit, that's the guy I can see using that comp pick we got from Kansas City in that Kadarius Toney trade. So who knows what happens? That's way too far to even try to say that's going to happen. But it's a possibility. We got a couple 4th round guys. Nick Hampton, Appalachian State. And I know that sounds like a weird name for a school. It's like where people go to marry their cousin. But yeah, no, that's an actual school, guys. Very explosive, good length, flexible. Here's the thing that was going to need time to develop. And it's probably a lot of it's because of where he played. And no disrespect to the coaching staff of Appalachian State, because they can coach football better than I can. But they can't coach football better than probably more than half of the coaches out there in NCAA. You're not going to get the greatest coach in the world for Appalachian State. No disrespect to them.
Yep.
They might develop into the great coach later on, unless they're just old and been at that job for 40 years. I have no clue who the coach is, guys. Next up, we got K.J. Henry out of Clemson. Smart player, sheds blocks. Never been a full-time player. And that's what I always think is interesting in the late round picks kind of area. Getting guys who've been stuck behind somebody else that may have been good players at other schools, but because they're at a top school, didn't get the chance to even show what they could do. So he was a guy who flashed. He was the guy they brought in, specifically on run stopping things. He's not much of a pass rusher. What did we have trouble against last year? The run.
Yeah, killed us. It killed us.
Run. So to have a guy that we could bring off when they start clipping these runs on us to try to stop it.
I think it's almost deceiving. We thought like Jihad Ward was our best run defender, but he's not a great run defender.
Because he had to focus more on the pass rush than ever.
Of course.
He had to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah. But that's absolutely a need for us.
Yeah. I got a couple guys in the 5th round, and then I'm done to hear you guys' thoughts, see if you guys have any other names you want to drop as well. Derek Parrish out of Houston. Another small school. I love getting small school guys late.
Yeah, I can tell that's your thing.
And you know what it is? I like getting the guys that are like if you got a shot, let's say you were a starter at LSU for 4 years, hypothetically. I'm going to name that school since BJ was the first guy we talked about. If you were a 4-year starter or a 2-year starter, whatever the case may be at LSU, Alabama, Georgia, and you're going in the 6th round, I'm not that interested. You had a chance to shine, you didn't shine. You had great talent around you. You were surrounded by better talent than everybody else. You didn't shine. This guy went to Houston. And he may not shine, but he showed potential. I'll take a guy like that over a guy who just was kind of floating around at a big school.
Almost like
a left bench.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Oh, that's my line. Left bench. So the only issue with him is he's very small. 240 pounds. He's practically a safety.
Yep.
And he was a Swiss Army knife for them. He played fullback at times for them. He played big on special teams for them. If that doesn't scream to me, I just love football and I want to get in the damn field. That's the guy I want on the Giants. The guy who just loves the freaking game. And he has shown development as a pass rusher. So if you're telling me I can have a guy that can pop on the field when under big passing downs, potentially. We'll see what happens long term with that. I can pop him on special teams and he'll love it. I can even throw him in as a blocker on offense if I need to.
Yeah.
It'd be epic.
We had a lot of.
That's the guy I want. I'm not saying I want him on the team to be a big contributor, but we're talking 5th round picks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Not every one of them is Darius Slayton. Most of those guys are guys you have for a year or two and they're gone.
Yep. Exactly.
So that's a guy that I would take an option on and take a look at. I have one more small school guy for you. And to be honest, I didn't pick specifically small school guys. It just happened to work out this way.
I was about to say.
Last one. Jose Ramirez from the Giants School of Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan, of all places. Good first burst. Good production as well in 2 seasons as a starter there. Pass rush specialist. Here's the only problem we have with him. He played at Eastern Michigan, so there's not a lot of tape against actually good quality opponents. So I'm kind of curious to see, if they find more tape on him or when we get to see more kind of stuff like that. Because obviously small school guys, you also don't go to the bowls where you play against other guys and stuff like that. I'd be kind of curious to see what they do if somebody goes to actually go to their pro day and see what he does there. See what because that's where you're going to find out what he has national talent-wise. If you stare at guys like Ojulari, Thibodeaux, if you're in the building around those kind of guys on a day-in-day basis, when you see talent, you see talent. You know how to read it because you see it on a daily basis. Not to overhype Azeez and Kayvon, because I'm not saying they're, the Watt brothers or something crazy. But you have a legitimate talent in the building that you watch on a daily basis. You can recognize talent when you see it in others. It's much easier to do that than when you're playing, Quincy Roche starting for, 8 games like the year prior, against, So, like I said, I'd be curious to see what happens to him. But like I said, I like the small school guys. I can't help myself. I got to fight for the little guy, which is weird because I'm 6'7", but I'm fighting for the little guy.
I'm only 5'10". I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, 5'10's average, right?
I guess. Not next
that sounds weird. That sounds weird. I don't think I've ever done that before. Like, somebody's like, I'm only this. Yeah. I'm like, you cheer up. You're average.
You go.
You go. You go as your average self.
How was the
You're so basic.
I'm going to be just average.
The average height, 5'7".
Listen, you may not stick out in the crowd, but you also can't hide into either.
It's the best of both worlds. I sadly haven't done like a ton of draft research yet on the pass rushers, but the only comment I can make is I 100% agree that we shouldn't use one of our first, second, or third round picks. Maybe late third, like you said, with the comp that we got from the Chiefs. But I think trying to go for size, I think the only big guy when I think about it is Ward. So we need to find someone who, and Ward's definitely on the other side of 30 now. And
yeah, he's about 31, I think, now.
Yeah. So you know, those are going to be shoes that we need to fill. And the other thing too is we have to be more careful with it than just, we need a guy to be a backup, because knock on wood, and for Azeez and Kayvon, both of them are injury prone. So these guys need to be able to step up.
I got to correct myself. I just looked it up while we're talking. Jihad Ward, 28 years old.
Wow.
I thought he was much older.
Okay, so we'll have Jihad Ward.
Yeah.
No,
Did
I
he
mean,
smoke
we'll
in the off season or something?
No, he's been going ATVing with McKinney.
Yeah, that's it.
He was part of that.
Yeah, McKinney's got a little boy face. He was.
But yeah, I think just making sure that these guys that we draft have the ability to develop into someone that can fill in if these guys get hurt.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
That's what I'm looking for. Somebody that we can develop into being the spot kind of starter real quick. And when we got you talking, Will, I think John misunderstood something here. He said, Will in New England can say you could have had 9 rings, but Eli took 2 of those. No, John, he's a Giant fan. His family is Patriot fans, though. I know that because I've seen that in some of his episodes there. He's got some family, and he probably has a lot of good fun with them on that, probably all the time there.
It's actually one of those things. Patriots fans are not that hard on Giants fans compared to.
They shouldn't be.
It's like enough time has passed, and like when they're like, "Oh, that Eli Super Bowl was a lucky catch," I'm like, "Yeah," and then the throw to Manningham was the best throw in Super Bowl history. So like,
yeah,
tomatoes. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
But no, they're pretty cool. They watch the games with me, and I'll watch the Pats. I don't hate the Pats. I'll watch the Pats. I'm not.
I always. So being in Florida, I deal with a lot of.
Times we need to.
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
Being in Florida, I deal with a lot of New Englanders and Patriot fans here because it's not just Jersey boys that move down here. It's just everybody that moves down here. So, I always tell them, because if they try to talk football with me and I see something Patriot-wise with them on them, like a shirt or something, I'm always like, yeah, you guys probably don't want to talk football with me. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, you guys may not like me very much after that.
It's so funny. I've worked a couple different jobs, and that's always like, oh, you watch football? Yeah, you don't want to talk to me about football, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shill for Eli and piss you the hell off, and it's not gonna make anyone happy here. So, but yeah, you know what? I do throw in their face that it still bums me out that Nick Foles beat Tom Brady, because if not, Eli would have held that, and that would have been cool. So.
Well, now we got a third person to throw in the mix as well, because now Nick Foles, Eli Manning, and Giselle have taken rings away from Tom Brady. So, I mean, that's just...
Burn. I like it. Me and my brother, we got in an argument. He does the podcast with me. He's a huge Patriots fan. And he was like, I wonder what it's like to be a Giants fan. And he was just... And we were talking about, like, this year. And I said, it's kind of like being a Patriots fan, but we went to the playoffs and won a game. That's, like, the difference. So he was pretty PO'd at that, but that's all right.
We got Connor Wallace, but deep down Patriots like, damn, he went and won in Tampa with all new guys, and they haven't won one, Connor.
Yeah. And
by the way,
no, go ahead.
I'll say, by the way, if anybody hasn't seen yet, look up the picture of him at the UFC fight over the weekend.
Oh my God! When you're eating a lemon.
No, like he has like these weird lines now. Like, the man looks like he's, like, made of granite now. And I don't mean that as a compliment. Like, that sounds complimentary. Like, I mean he looks like he has a stone face that a plastic surgeon has carved too much on.
It's pretty weird. You know what's funny, though? Most New Englanders...
He looks like it's wax museum.
yeah, he does.
But it just got made. Like, it hasn't been put in the sun once. Like, it's amazing to look at rookie pictures of it until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New England fans, most of them are just Brady fans, so they all wear Tampa jackets and jerseys.
There we go. So. Come on down, guys. There's plenty of houses still for sale. They just cost 3 times as much as they used to, thanks to you guys, but
Yeah.
So, Rob, any thoughts you got on the draft as well, or is the same kind of mentality you're agreeing with us of just kind of like, let's get a mid-round guy so we can develop them?
Yeah, I want someone with mass. I'm also kind of interested to see when Andrew Carter the second can do. The guy from Army. The second.
Pinky's out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's an intriguing one because he just totally wrecked that year. And it's like, well, did he not have enough moves? Is that what happened? Can we just teach him more moves? Like, that's talent. That's potential.
Well,
I'll take it.
Saying it's something like you can take a look at. Yeah.
All right. So before we get going here, Will, do me a favor. Let everybody know where they can find your work at. Where they can find all your thoughts here on not just the Giants but the world as we know it.
Yeah. So my Twitter link is.
I know it's very difficult to do the directional thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I always get the angling wrong. My Twitter.
You know what I do? I'm going to let you in a little tip here. I do, and people will probably watch this now and notice that I'm doing this. So sometimes when I'm sitting in my chair, if I know I'm about to point, I go like this and just shrug a shoulder a little bit, so I know what side I'm about to pick up.
Yeah. So then,
See? Even with my tip, he's still got it. There you go. He's got it. He's got it.
My camera's inverted. There
it is.
Yeah, he's got it.
Otherwise, your number 5 would be like a weird 5.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good move. But yeah, so that's my Twitter handle, and then my YouTube link is there in the Twitter as well. But I do podcasts once a week. We talk about Giant stuff, but I do it with my brother who's a Patriots fan, which is miserable for both of us, but we get through it together. So we'll talk about football and stuff. But I really appreciate you guys having me on. This was a ton of fun. So I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's always fun talking to guys, getting to know all the other content creators in the Giants world, man. There's so many of us, but it's great that everybody gets along. We can all chill. We can all just hang out and have some fun and share all the information with everybody there. So, as I said, Giant fans here, we will probably be coming on tomorrow as well because we are expecting some big news, obviously, tomorrow, whether good or bad. Damn it, Jones, be good. But there's going to be some kind of news probably at that point there, whether we're happy or sad, you'll know pretty quickly there. We will also be on Wednesday as well. And, guys, we're going to have, for you guys, tons of guests on Wednesday. We actually are double booked on purpose because we're going to talk linebackers. And if that's not important, I don't know what is for this team. So we're going to have Marshall Green on for you. We're also going to have the football grump and the cranky fan as well. So it'll be all 5 of us talking linebackers. We're going to talk linebackers with people, where there'll be more people talking than linebackers are usually on the field. That's how important this position is for us. So, and then of course we're also going to keep on going the rest of the way through all the different positions on the field there for you guys. So we still have, after that, we'll still have corner, we'll still have safety, we'll still have special teams, and then might be a good time for another mock draft. We know you guys love the mock drafts at that point, so we haven't even done one yet post-combine, so here, that's probably a good time to do it. So again, if you guys are watching live on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch, on LinkedIn, we appreciate you guys listening and watching us live here with us. If you're not watching live and you're watching later on, hey, we still appreciate it, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're on at 9 o'clock as of right now. We may change that in the future, but we'll keep you guys up to date if we do. We were talking about doing it a little earlier, because I know it's already 10:30 now. I'm sure some of you guys are probably trying to get off to bed, working all in that hoopla. Got to pay the damn bills. But for those of you who like audio versions or listening audio, keep in mind we are on pretty much every audio podcast known to man. If we're not on the platform you use, guess what, guys? Time to change the platform. That's not a good one. We are on like 30 or 40 different podcast platforms, guys. There are plenty to choose from. In fact, you should download them all. Hit subscribe on all of them for no apparent reason. Definitely doesn't help us pad the numbers in any way, shape, or form. So, again, guys, thank you very much for listening in. If you haven't already, please do hit that like, subscribe, that share. Go ahead and, let everybody know about the show as well, because we get a lot of people coming on for this because they've seen a post, because they've been told somebody, hey, go ahead and watch these guys. And we always appreciate when you guys share everything out like that, because it helps us grow the show without spending money, because we're broke, let's be honest here. We're not rich people. You know how much this gnome costs and these pictures cost. This is all money, guys. We're broke. Thanks to Giant stuff here. This man had to buy an actual uniform from Kayvon himself, okay? That was a Kayvon actual worn jersey. That was a lot of money.
Had to steal it. Yeah, had to get it.
Before we get going here, we, as always, end with our chant that I know, Will, you do watch the show. I know we've talked about that before, so I'm sure you're aware of our Go G-Man chant we do here at the end. And it is that time. On the count of 3, guys. 1, 2, 3. Go G-Man! Go G-Man!
Go G-Men!
G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?